If every millionaire on Earth, there's 59 million millionaires on Earth that we know of at least, if every single one of them wanted to buy a Bitcoin after they've all been minted, they couldn't. And they're viscerally upset at that. But that is the entire fucking point of Bitcoin in the first place. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. JDs and gentlemen. Are you invested in one of these cryptocurrency ETFs? Well, I'd like to inform you, you're dumb as fuck. Congratulations, you're actually dumb as fuck. Let's talk about it. We need to talk about it. If you look on any of these ETFs websites like BlackRock's IBIT, Fidelity, ARK, these websites will all tell you an investment in this ETF is not a direct investment in Bitcoin, because it's not. Now, why is that the case? As of right now, BlackRock has managed to hoard 661,500 and some change Bitcoin, worth about $72 billion, right? And let's take a look at how they did that. So for all you stock people, you may or may not know, and to all you non-stock people, you may or may not know, a company will issue stocks for any number of reasons, but they all come to the same bottom line. That company needs more money. Well, I'm going to stand up for a second. Companies issue stock when they are out of money. Whether that's to recoup a loss, whether that is to crowdsource, or I guess crowdfund would be the word, their next big project that they don't have enough money for, or maybe, just maybe, they want to take their kids on vacation to the Bahamas in some sleazy shell corp investing scheme, whatever, right? So let's take a look at why a company might issue stock, right? It could be to recoup a loss. Maybe they took a hit financially this year and they're going to issue stocks, let the public fund their loss and make their money back. Maybe they have a big business move that they've almost got enough for and they just need the public, their loyal consumers and fans or whatever, maybe they can help, right? It's a crowdfunding thing. So in the case of these cryptocurrency ETFs, the purpose is to buy cryptocurrency, namely Bitcoin, right? Which they have done profoundly and profusely. And so what happens whenever you give BlackRock $60 for this iShares ETF? For one share, right? They take your $60, they buy $60 worth of Bitcoin for themselves, right? And they give you one iShares ETF share, right? And they say, they're investing for you so that you don't have to stress the complexities of navigating a wallet and a seed phrase and managing your own finances, right? Sounds friendly, but let's talk about why this is a bad thing. Currently, BlackRock owns 661,000 Bitcoin. That is over half as much as Satoshi himself, who holds 1.1 million Bitcoin. So how did they do this? Well, exactly the process that I just described to you guys. They sold us iShares shares, and we bought them. And again, they have now 661,500 and I think like 21 Bitcoin, worth $72 billion, and we bought every bit of it for them. So 90 days ago, I think the iShares was trading at around 20 bucks, and at its peak, it traded about $80.43 or something like that, I want to say. So to anyone who was holding over that period where the 20 became 80, they'd probably feel like, oh, well, I invested, I bought 5 shares at 20 bucks each, and then each of my 5 shares became 80 bucks, giving me $400. Wow, woohoo, big win. BlackRock made this happen for me for investing in Bitcoin for me. Right? But that's not the reality of the situation. Realistically, you gave BlackRock a portion of your money. They took that money and used it for their own nefarious purposes. Well, I won't say nefarious. They used it for their own purposes. Good, bad, or evil. Right? And in this case, what did they do? They bought Bitcoin en masse. So, let me just point something out to you guys. Okay, BlackRock is a company that manages $10.58 trillion. Trillion, okay? And the entire IBIT, iShares ETF for Bitcoin, in its entirety is $72 billion. So if we realized what a scam this really was right now today, and every single person holding a share of this ETF sold their shares right back to BlackRock for cash so that they could buy their own Bitcoin for themselves, not only would BlackRock still have 661,500 Bitcoin worth $72 billion, but it would bring their worth from 10.58 trillion to 10.508 trillion. It would not cost the richest conglomerate in the world even one of their trillions of dollars. And they have amassed more than half of the total volume of what Satoshi himself holds, bro. And we bought it for them. You really think BlackRock is going to sell off any of that Bitcoin when they manage trillions of dollars? No, they're going to flush out Kmart the rest of the way. No, they're going to flush out Panera Bread next. And they're going to bottom out those stocks, profit as it they're going to short it to death. They're going to take the money, they're going to recuperate their loss that way, and they're going to hold on to the 600,000 Bitcoin we bought for them. And for what? Because you don't feel like navigating the complexities of a seed phrase and managing your own finances. Yeah, no, you stupid motherfucker. You have allowed BlackRock to buy up 660,000 Bitcoin. And they're going to sell it back to you just like they did with real estate. For 10 times the price that it's worth. So, I don't want to be the guy that just tells you you're fucking Tom and provides absolutely no other information outside of that. So let's talk about two really big problems and two quotes you might hear very often if you follow any crypto news. One of which is there's a limited supply, because there's only 21 million Bitcoin ever. Right now we've officially mined like 19.5 million, so there's only 1.5 million left to be mined. Once those are mined, we can't just create more Bitcoin out of thin fucking air. It's not like your bank account, it's not like the credit system where we just constantly create new money from nothing. It's not like that, it's completely different. The other is that 31% of Bitcoin's total supply is in the hands already of centralized exchanges and or private buyers, like private holders, like specific people. But what we're here to talk about today specifically is these ETFs, and you'll see BlackRock is here. The IBIT ETF and BlackRock are listed there, and they're listed here. So I don't want you guys to get confused and think that I double counted this number to make it look like BlackRock has more Bitcoin than they actually do have. So all of these red numbers you see here, take that into account. As of right now, BlackRock has 696,874.7 Bitcoin. And in the 4 days it took me to make this video, they've already amassed a whole bunch more. I'll clip in the scrapped half of this video from where I had to basically redo all of this. So enjoy, guys. So in the 4 days since I started making this video, BlackRock has managed to scrape up another $34,000 worth of Bitcoin, and they now hold 696,874 Bitcoin. So I'm going to go ahead and just change that real quick. So just to take a second to look at these top 10 holders of Bitcoin, bottom to top, you have Tim Draper and Silk Road, right, which we already talked about. It's kind of good, kind of bad, we don't fully know. Mara, they're a massive like Bitcoin mining firm. That's all that they do. Winklevoss twins, they have about 70,000 Bitcoin. They're the ones who run Gemini. It's another exchange like Kraken, centralized exchange. I really just don't like Gemini. I don't like stock people. It's like Gemini's just another Robinhood, and it could have been another Uniswap instead. And like, I don't know, that's just me. That's personal bullshit. Whatever. Next you have Tether and Block One, which are like stablecoin issuers, and I think Block One does mining as well. Above them you have Robinhood. So like these are like I hate stocks. It should be obvious why I don't. Like, fuck all of Wall Street, and Robinhood is just stock people trying to dip their fingers in crypto alongside these goofy motherfuckers. The Wall Street cartel, if you will. And then above them you have Binance, which is a centralized exchange, but again, on our side, Binance is our friends because Binance has stood for crypto regulations across 70 countries.
You're absolutely fucking damned.
And we love that. Fucking, I'll die behind Binance. Fuck the dumb shit. I wish they were available in the US, and I do want to put that in my fucking video. I think it's unfortunate that they're not. And then again, we're back into the top three: Strategy, IBIT, and Satoshi himself. So Strategy is fine. Maybe they're bad. I don't fucking know. I'm not gonna claim them to be so they're in the green for now. And then boom, above Binance and Strategy, you have IBIT and BlackRock, who has now 696,874 Bitcoin, worth like just shy of 74 billion instead of 72 billion like it was 4 fucking days ago. They've just added a couple more billions for fun, you know, as one does. The point is, Bitcoin, crypto as a whole, is not for the millionaires. It's not for Wall Street. It's not for the banks and the government. It is for everyone else. It is for us, the people, the bottom 95% of the world. And we don't all need a whole Bitcoin either. It would just be nice to have. I mean, there's 7.7 billion of us. We can't each have a whole Bitcoin. That's the fucking purpose of it all. You know, we have to learn to share, and we have to learn how to make shit work. Which I may or may not leave that part in the video, but if they can't each have a whole one to themselves now, why are we letting them buy them thousands at a time, tens of thousands at a time, with our fucking money? That's all these fucking ETFs are. That's the entire... Give us your money, we're gonna buy Bitcoin. You take this useless ass fucking share. And I mean, you can make the argument all day on whether or not cryptocurrency is fake money or real money or just internet money or what the fuck ever, but that's the whole point of it too. We, the people, the 95 bottom percent, we get to fucking decide how much we stuff into it outside of this system, right? And that's where the value of it comes from. And if they take it all, again, they're just going to do like they do with your groceries, with all the land, all of the real estate, all of the stocks they already twist and manipulate in their favor at every other turn. And they're going to sell it back to you at 15, 20, 300 times the price that it's fucking worth. And then, you know, like, it's not that far of a stretch to see, you know, multiple $1 million price on a Bitcoin where it's like 2.3 million for one coin. But if BlackRock owns 95% of them, you bet your sweet ass they're going to be the next fucking Rolexes. They're going to be the next McLaren. Oh, well, 376 million for one Bitcoin, and they're just going to price it however the fuck they feel on their exchanges, which are completely centralized and not decentralized like they're supposed to fucking be. So I think that basically covers the whole fucking rant, I think. Any more questions? Any sideball shit to throw in on this before I basically have to do the same thing with what we're supposed to fucking do outside of this? Over here, we have the 6 biggest ETFs. And from bottom to top, they are Bitwise with 39,295.2 Bitcoin. Above them, you have Grayscale Mini Trust, which has 44,025 Bitcoin. Then you have ARK with 46,166 Bitcoin. Grayscale, the big Grayscale, the original Grayscale ETF with 185,091 Bitcoin. Fidelity with 199,669 Bitcoin, and that still is a third of what IBIT has with 696,000. And they're just divvying it. How do you pronounce the word? Divvying it up between them and their fucking cronies. Now ahead of time, after they spent the last 6 to 8 years, right before COVID and everything, trying to demonize the shit and tell you it's a scam and tell you it's illegal and tell you mining's bad for the environment, while they were buying up all the mining equipment, learning what the fuck all this shit means, setting it up for themselves and buying it in mass, telling you the fuck not to. And now here they are with ETFs talking about some, your stupid ass doesn't want to fucking navigate the complexities of a wallet, do you? You don't trust yourself with your own hard-earned money, do you? You should just give it to us. Just give us your fucking bread, dude. Let us do it all for you. Just let us handle your mortgage too while you're at it. It's the whole same fucking premise, dude. They want 99% of everything and all wealth and all land and all money and all goods. And if there's any tax dollars or transaction fees to be made, you bet your sweet ass they want those and more of those. So that they can lobby each other in our fucking government. The rant is never over. You guys know me. Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin. It holds this much. The Satoshi wallets you hear about hold all this Bitcoin combined, and nobody's been able to crack them. Nobody's been able to touch them. Nobody's been able to figure out who Satoshi is, and that legend to this day still stands and hopefully continues henceforth. And that, I don't want to do the thing on quantum computers right now, because fuck. Yeah, if the first thing they do with quantum computing is start cracking seed phrases, namely the Satoshi wallet seed phrases, nothing would radicalize me faster. Just saying. But yeah, Satoshi created Bitcoin and holds the most. Barely now, but he holds the most. The second person on this list just started buying Bitcoin within the last 5 to 10 years. Created it, just heard about it and talked you out of it for the last 8 years. Literally everybody else, good or bad along the way, that's been in crypto for at least 10 years. And we have allowed BlackRock to take our fucking money via the stock market again to buy Bitcoin for themselves. It doesn't make fucking sense to me. It's fucking wild. So back to that state, right? 31% of Bitcoin's total supply is held by the biggest holders. And those biggest holders kind of come in three big categories, right? You've got the ETFs, then you've got the top 3, and then you've got the top 7 to 10, right? Now these guys are just your ETFs, and combined they have 1.211 million, 1,211,000 and some change Bitcoin. That's not a lot. Out of 21 million, that's this percent. I didn't put it on the fucking board because I'm actually dumb as fuck. But I'll do that later. Now this bracket here, the bottom, or the top 7 to 10 holders are people like Tim Draper from Silk Road, Morrow, which is a big mining company, the Winklevoss twins who started Gemini, another centralized exchange. Fuck them. Robinhood is another huge holder. Like, you can see some of these are green, some of these are red. Oh, I mean, do I have to spell it out? Yeah, these guys are not your friends. These guys are not your friends. But these 3 holders, Satoshi, BlackRock, and Strategy, own 11.75% of the supply. Their next, the next biggest 7 holders have another 14.909% at the time of making this video. So we just round that up to 15%, let's say, and that brings us to a whopping 26.75% already. Then you pair in the ETFs, which I don't have the number there, but if I'm not mistaken, it's like 6.52%, right? That's almost 32% of the total supply, guys. And they did it using our money. We willingly handed them our money. They handed us worthless fucking iShares. Let me just scratch that too. So, with that being said, I want to look at the other biggest thing you might hear a lot of people worried about and complaining about in crypto, especially these guys. You'll hear them all mentioned quite often that if every millionaire in the world, even after the last Bitcoin has been mined, if every single millionaire on the planet wanted to buy a whole Bitcoin for themselves, they could not. There are 21 million Bitcoins and 59.9 million millionaires that we know of alive today, right? So they are foaming at the mouth that they can't all have a whole Bitcoin. They feel like they should have all of that, just like they have all of the banking system, all of the credit system, all of food, pharma, tech, education, all of it, real estate, your grocery, everything. I mean, go look into this guy's channel. It's one of my favorites. If you doubt anything that I'm talking about, use this channel to follow the numbers. I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you. That guy does it so much better. Anyway, these guys already own all of everything. They're not supposed to have Bitcoin. It was made against them and their goofy ass Wall Street fucking crony establishments. It was made against this oligarch class. And that's such a plague of a word nowadays too. I'm so sick of fucking hearing the word oligarch, but I mean, what else are we gonna call it? It's Wall Street. It's the Federal Reserve crashing our fucking dollar like, they made the system broken. They took advantage of it, twisted it, extorted it. I'm gonna have to scratch all that too, huh? So not only should all of that alarm you, but it should also alarm you that these guys own all of the media that you've been watching for the last 10 years. And we know that it is not worth a fuck. There is almost nothing trustworthy coming out of any news. I don't care if you're left, right, center, blah, 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 blah. I mean, Ground News, sure, sponsor me, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm fucking foul for that. You know, basically there's almost no news source that's actually worth listening to. If you're getting your news from anyone owned by Sinclair Broadcasting Group.
Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about troubling trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 Or by Comcast, or by, like, it's all owned and operated by shady oligarchs with agendas. Okay. So what am I getting at here? BlackRock, the company that basically owns everything in tandem with its other two big buddies, State Street and Vanguard, and their buddies, the banking system, the military-industrial system, the finance system as a whole, like everything that makes this country economic in any degree. These guys fucking already own 87% of all of it. And now they're here to tell you, oh, you should let us own 87% of all Bitcoin and manage that for you too. Yeah, no, you're fucking stupid to believe that. Like I said, what on earth makes you think they're gonna sell you Bitcoin when you get rid of these shares? No, they're gonna give you your goofy ass cash. They've got all of it. It's not shit to them, guys. We're literally taking the escape route and allowing the people in the system that we're escaping from to manage our escape route for it? What the fuck are we doing? What the actual fuck is that? This whole system, I have it right here in big letters. It's the whole fucking point. They're not supposed to have a Bitcoin each. Period. That's the whole point. Why are we letting them take our money and buy it? Thousands of coins at a time. Wholesale. Whole entire coins in mass. Because you're too scared. And like I said, it drives me nuts. It's like the infomercial thing. You don't want to use your brain for 4 seconds? Have you ever had to do anything ever? Like, come the fuck on, man. You're not retarded. You're not an invalid. You can handle your own money. And if you let them handle your money, they're going to handle it the way they've handled everything else. At 150 times the price that it's worth. You wonder why everything feels like a scam nowadays, guys? Because it fucking is. And if you're trusting the scam you've been sold your whole life, Damn, dude, it's so frustrating, man. I genuinely want you guys to think about this for one moment. Bitcoin was made entirely on the premise of taking the power back. Now, through money, and arguably through the dodging of taxes, unnecessary taxes, I might add. But that's how we do it. We take the money out of the banks. We take the money away from Wall Street. We take the money out of taxes and stop letting them be turned into fucking bombs that lay waste to whatever given sovereign nation we feel the need to lay waste to for any plethora of reasons. I'm not even going down that rabbit hole today, guys. Seriously, this stuff was created entirely for the purpose of breaking away from the system that has made it impossible and unaffordable for each and every single one of us to live. We should not be letting them buy it for us on the guise that we're not smart enough to handle any fucking thing. No, fuck them, fuck their centralized exchanges, fuck their know your consumer information. I don't want to tell these motherfuckers anything. It's the whole point of crypto. To sell it back to them just puts us right back at square one. And that will never not frustrate me. I'm sorry this video is so fucking late, but I've had to just keep reworking the end of this because every time I get numbers down on this fucking board, they change. Anytime I skip a day and come back, I've missed something and I've got to update everything. Like, they're buying Bitcoin so fucking fast it will make your head spin. And if there's not enough for all the millionaires that it wasn't created for, what on earth makes you think there's enough of it for all 8 billion people on this planet? It's designed for us to spread it equally and share in a very finite and defined way. Not something like our credit system that can just create infinite money from nothing. Not like the Federal Reserve and the mints printing endless money. However, I think it's like once a week they fire up those fucking presses, dude. Like, it's ridiculous. Every time they do that, every time some scammer online spends your money and your bank replaces it, that's boom, guess what? That's creating money from nothing. I talked about it in another one of my videos, but that's creating money from nothing and directly slashing the value of our dollar. And I will find the graph and put it up here, but this is the value of our fucking dollar, okay? And for the last 10 years, the people who own everything have been trying to tell you that Bitcoin is a scam, Bitcoin should be illegal, Bitcoin's mining is bad for the environment, everything they could to get you not buying so that they could catch up and learn. And now they have. Now they're fucking radically buying Bitcoin as fast as possible to sell it back to you. And it should really, really raise every fucking body's eyebrows and get the brakes pumping. This buyer of Bitcoin, BlackRock and the IBIT ETF, just started buying Bitcoin really, really recently. Satoshi himself is the only person who owns more than BlackRock. And at the rate we're going, the next 2 competitors behind BlackRock, Strategy and Binance, which are our friends, still don't even have as much as BlackRock does. If they do, that's about to change very quickly. Like, BlackRock is aggressively taking your money and buying Bitcoin for themselves and for their Wall Street cronies. Period. We have got to put a fucking end to it. We've got to stop this fucking madness. Take all your money back, and next we need to work on extrapolating every bit of that Bitcoin and giving it back to the people who actually paid for it. This is fucking madness. Alright guys, this is day like 12 now of editing, and I had to take about 5 days off to kind of reorganize and do everything. But by the time I've come back, BlackRock has officially bought 40,000 more Bitcoin, and they now hold 735,740.6 Bitcoin. Do you see what I'm talking about now? They are just hungry hippos, grabbing as much Bitcoin now as they can before you have the chance to. It does not take much to educate your fucking self. All these people talking about, oh, I got in too late. No, dude, the last coin's not going to be mined until like 2040. Okay? And then we have a finite money system to work with from there. This is just the fucking beginning. Stop listening to Wall Street. They're not your friends. Stop listening to the media owned by Wall Street and the CIA. They're not your friends. Stop listening to the government. They're not your friends. Period. Stop paying your fucking taxes. They're not your friends. Bitcoin as a whole, crypto in its entirety, everything I do on my channel is a threat to their democracy. I am a threat to their democracy. This shit is over. It's the whole fucking purpose of Bitcoin. Start taking whatever you have. I don't care if it's $3, $300, whatever. Seriously, you need to get on this Bitcoin shit. The whole world is ditching the US dollar and the fucking petrodollar. Rightfully fucking so. It's over. This game, this facade, this scam we've all been threatened with down the barrel of a fucking gun via the IRS and the government and all this other stupid shit. It's over. Unless we continue to do this and let them buy it and sell it fucking back to us. You goofy idiots think Wall Street is out here teaching you. No, they're betting money that you're going to lose money in their fucking system. And they're going to short your ass the whole fucking way down and profit as you fucking lost. They're playing every fucking one of you. There's like a 1% chance you really are a part of Wall Street. And if you fuck with stocks at all to any capacity, they want you to think you're part of Wall Street. You're not. You're not. They are betting on goofy motherfuckers like you, just like they're betting on doofy assholes on DraftKings. Stop it. I am absolutely fucking exhausted from making this video. It's taken me 3 weeks to make, and in 3 weeks, BlackRock has managed to take your fucking money and hoard 80,000 Bitcoin for themselves. Further proving the point of this entire video. They see the opportunity we have to escape from their system. And they want to buy that too. Okay? We cannot fucking let them do this. We need to take our money back from these people. You need to stop paying your fucking taxes. You need to stop putting your money in the stock market. It's not for you, it's for them. You need to stop setting up a fucking 401k. That's not helping you either. That's just giving your money to the government. And I know everybody's gonna sit here and try to tell me I'm on some slippery slope and off my rocker to tell you that nothing you've been told is trustworthy, but I'm serious. Everything that you have been told is part of a radical fucking propaganda movement against you by your fucking government, by the CIA, and by the elitist fucking class. They want you emotional. They want you spending money thinking you're supporting this cause or that cause. In reality, one of 3 places owns everything. Every choice you make, every Every time you think you're saving a dollar by taking the cheap option, guess what? They own the cheap option too. Oh, you think, oh, well, I didn't vote for this, I'm going to vote opposite next time, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? They own left and they own right. They own it all. And they want you spending your fucking money up one side or the other in a race to see who can spend the most money the fastest. And then we wonder why it all comes out to be fucking lies. Because they don't give a shit about us. Period. They don't. They have enough money to where they don't have to give a fuck about the laws that we give a fuck about. While we're on the topic of not having to give a shit about laws because you've got enough money, I want you guys thinking about people like Jeffrey Epstein. I want you thinking about people like Diddy. I want you thinking about people like the Clintons. But I also want you thinking about people like the CIA. Whoa. Whoops. I was not supposed to be there. But yeah, think about all of those guys. Then read the title of this. Okay? Now I'm just going to start scrolling. And scrolling. And scrolling. I want you to see how long this is. And I'm going to try not to go too fast so you can catch all these years. Every fucking year, basically. Constantly. Non-stop. We are involved in fucking someone's shit up. This is where your tax dollars are going. Guatemala, Syria, Indonesia, Iraq, Vietnam, Cuba, Laos, my favorite. I love talking about Operation Barrel Roll. And we are still going. Just the fact that we are still going at all proves my point, guys. They don't give a shit about what you voted for. They want you playing their little game and distracted. They have the money to do whatever the fuck they want whenever they want, and that's exactly what they're gonna do until we all join together and fucking stop them. Until we all stop paying them fucking money. But anyway, I'm gonna get off my fucking high horse here. I'm gonna get off the soapbox, and I've got to fucking put this video down, guys. We've got to stop this shit. We have got to stop this shit. We've got to put an end to this elitist class. Okay? I know everybody's going to try and sit here and tell me I'm on a slippery slope and that this is a dangerous path and all this other shit. It doesn't have to be. Okay? You are being influenced by a radical propaganda movement that goes back to the beginning of World War I. Okay? Why on earth we're electing people who think in terms of World War I and the Cold fucking War instead of people who are thinking about living life in 2050, I'll never fucking know. Okay, we've got to stop putting these fucking Cold War, old head, miserable oligarch fucks into office. Everything around you is for-profit propaganda brought to you by BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, all three, or Palantir, or the CIA. It's all designed to get you emotional, spending your money, thinking you're supporting anything, when really, you're just funneling your money straight back to one of a few places, okay? Stop trusting the media. Stop trusting your government. Stop trusting anyone with a net worth over $1 million. These people are not your fucking
friends. Your life means nothing other than the value that it brings to the shareholders. It has to fucking end. It's the entire purpose of Bitcoin. We have to take our money back out of these systems. Take it back out of your bank. Stop paying your fucking taxes. Stop funding forever wars. Stop wasting money supporting left or right campaigns. Stop supporting anything that isn't your fucking self. Start supporting your neighbors. Start supporting your friends. Stop supporting Jeff fucking Bezos. Stop supporting fucking Palantir. Stop supporting all of it. And let's start supporting each other. Alright guys, I have been living off decaf coffee for like a week and a half, so I'm really glad that this coffee just landed. I did get my first sponsorship for the channel. Check out Atasha Coffee. I'm not going to sit here and shill to you guys. I'm going to let you know they got like 18 different flavors, and my favorite one so far is this raspberries and cream. But they also just dropped a new s'mores flavor, so here's the QR code to go check that out. Alright guys, I've got my coffee. I've got my purple sparkly princess cup, because I'm a motherfucking diva. And I need to start my day every morning by feeling pretty and special. Delicious. But before we go, this is probably the most important part of the video. I want to talk to you guys about boiling the frog slowly, catching a wolf by the tongue, and how those apply to you. And I really do like the boiling frog thing. But the problem I have with it, the main one, is in that scenario, the oppressed, in this case the frog, the oppressed is just picked up magically against its will completely and placed in the pot. There's nothing the frog can do, you know. And on top of that, the frog has absolutely no need to be in the pot. It's not being tricked into the pot or anything. So, and the other thing too is, if the frog manages to escape the pot, its oppressor, the chef, is just gonna either pick it up and throw it right back in the pot, or he's gonna pick it up and toss it out. So, what I do like about that is everyone's looking for a way out of the pot. And I think it makes sense that would be the version we're fed. Because if you think about oppressors, they want you to believe that they just picked you up and put you there and there's nothing you can do. So the metaphor does kind of fit. But I do want to talk about catching a wolf by the tongue, because it's a little bit more raw and it's a little bit more applicable to our situation. So before I fully get into this, I want to preface it by saying the wolf has to eat just like you have to eat, okay? And in knowing that, it is that hunger and that fear of starvation that's used against the wolf. And that's what I want to liken to our situation. The other half is The wolf in this situation is made complacent, and I'll get to us in a moment, but the wolf is numbed to its situation, and that's very important. I also, just on the topic of, just for conversation's sake, I mentioned that it makes sense that the boiling frog would be more common to be heard amongst the oppressed, whereas with this, it makes so much sense why, like, your oppressor wouldn't call you a wolf, right? And not only that, but why would they let this type of cat out of the bag? Because when you hear it, you'll never stop thinking about it. It's had me shook for like 3 weeks since I heard about it. And I mean, that too, I just recently heard about this, so if I fuck anything up, I'm sorry. Somebody correct me in the comments or something. And the last thing before we get into this is this is a tactic used by like northern territories where it's always snowy and stuff. And it's used mainly by like pelters, right? And with that, if you're hunting for pelts or like hunting something with not a lot of meat, you don't want to just shoot it and blow a fucking giant hole out the backside of it, right? So it's important to preserve the meat and have, I guess, the biggest yield from your harvest is the word that I'm looking for. And that's very, very crucial as well to this analogy, right? It's about how much can be harvested and extracted from you by the time it's all said and done. So with that being said, here is how you catch a wolf by the tongue. What you're gonna do, or let me just start like this. What they do in the Northern Territories, to my knowledge, to my understanding, is they'll take a knife and a tub of something's blood, like chicken or pork or beef or something along those lines. And they'll take the knife and they'll dip it down in it. And then they'll take the blood-soaked knife and let it freeze. And they'll take the frozen bloody knife and they'll dip it back in and freeze it over and over again. And they'll keep doing this until the knife blade has a good thick chunk of ice blood around it. And then they'll go out into the snow and they'll kind of loosely bury it where they think a wolf is going to come through. When a wolf does come through and starts licking it, eventually what happens is the tongue of the wolf thaws the ice, and at the same time the cold of the ice numbs the tongue of the wolf. And again, think about being sedated and being made complacent to your own detriment. That's very important to this analogy, right? So with the numb tongue, the wolf keeps licking through the blood until it gets to the knife blade. And when it reaches the knife blade, it starts cutting its tongue, which is completely numb from the cold. And it'll scrape it and it'll bleed and it'll taste its own blood mixed with the blood of whatever. But what it won't notice is that it's bleeding out. And I mean, that's basically what happens. The wolf will sit there and it'll lick the knife blade and lick the knife blade and lick the knife blade until it bleeds out. So I want to posit to you guys that maybe we're not being boiled slowly. Maybe our oppressors are using our hunger and our desperation against us and tricking us, sedating us, and making us complacent as they trick us into licking the knife blade. So I think that about does it for the wolf tongue thing. And I want to throw in some notes about, again, how this pertains to all of us, right? So you, like the wolf, have to eat. And it's your hunger, it's your desperation, it's your ignorance being used against you. And I've already talked about the media force-feeding you bullshit, so I don't really have to do that too much here. But I also want you guys to think about the fact that healthcare is just sick care. okay? And what kills me in it all is I'd be willing to bet at least 1 in 8 kids prescribed medication is misdiagnosed and exclusively being prescribed a medication because it's a partner company on a sponsorship. And that's not like a theory or anything. I say that because that's what happened to me, and that's my personal experience and the experience of several other kids that I was around at the time. I'll make another video about it, but oftentimes you're being treated for a disease you don't even have. And I won't get too deep into this, but I do want to also say that I think it's absolutely wild in my lifetime that somehow we have degenerated as a society to where kids are genuinely convincing themselves that they're autistic simply for having a hobby or enjoying something or being good at something even. Like, that's fucking crazy to me. And to any kid that's taking 1, 2, 3, 4 pills for, you know, whatever mental disorder they have, or like I said, you know, if they're convincing themselves or their therapist is convincing them they're autistic for having hobbies because they're partnered with a company that provides the medication for XYZ symptoms, you know, I mean, just like with the whole COVID thing, if you have a ring of businesses that profit from the entire world being in danger and detriment and being sick, well, that's exactly what's going to happen. If you have a company making money off of emergencies and disaster situations, well, they're constantly going to come when they need money and try to convince you that there's an emergency disaster situation, right? So, again, guys, I really want you guys to think about where you stand in the world, because it's not alongside Elon Musk. It's not alongside Bill Gates. It's not alongside whoever the fuck you voted for, because they're all bought and sold and paid for. It's all an act. So, just to finally be done with this video, I want to remind everybody, I am, this
is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.